I'm Cadet Michipan Enriquez from BSMT2-Y1-13 and this is my understanding on Annex I Regulation 31 to 39. Regulation 31. Oil discharge and control system. The ballast water is needed in the oil tankers, especially if the cargo is discharged to have the stability it has to take ballast from the sea, so that oil discharge monitoring and control system is used to prevent the pollution of ocean by oil due to discharge from ballast and bilge spaces. The Regulation 32, if enough time has passed to allow or proper oil water separation, the unclean ballast water or oil contaminated water from tanks in the cargo area other than slope tanks of the tanker ship may be released by the gravity below the waterline while at sea. The interface detectors in an electrical instrument for detecting the boundary between oil and water in tanks. Regulation 33. When oil cargo is sprayed under pressure onto tank surfaces and walls, silt that has under to then dissolves and transform into an usable cargo that may be pumped onto shore tanks. Almost all cargo may be delivered to shore with this technology, which essentially removes the need for slope tanks on ships. Cow or crude oil washing is the name of this procedure. This is highly recommended to use more than water because for the better non-pollutant way. Regulation 34. While tankers with a gross tonnage under 150 are exempt from Regulation 34's restrictions, unless sufficient arrangements are made to ensure that any effluent which is allowed to be discharged into the sea is effectively monitored to ensure that the provisions of this regulation are complied with. The total amount of oil and water used for washing and returned to a storage tank shall be discharged to reception facilities. Regulation 35. With the crude oil washing technique, a tanker or its tank are cleaned out between journeys, not with water but with the actual crude oil being transported. The cleaning process is far more effective when crude oil is utilized as a solvent than water is. The technology aids in preventing sea pollution from operating measures. While there is typically a final water range, the amount of water involved is quite modest. Regulation 36. MARPOL 73-78 Annex I Rule mandates the carrying on boards of ship of an oil record book 20 every ship, excluding oil tanker with a gross tonnage of 400 or more and a gross tonnage of 150 or more should be given an oil record book. An oil record book must also be delivered to every oil tanker with a gross tonnage of 150 or more. Each operation described above shall be fully recorded without delay in the oil record book, so that all entries in the book appropriate to that operation are completed. Regulation 37. The chief officer is the subordinate in charge for implementing SOPEP on board, while the master of the ship is in charge of SOPEP. Generally, SOPEP also outlines the master's, officers, and crew's action plan for dealing with various oil spill situations that may happen on a ship. Action plans for oil tankers vary depending on how the cargo is handled and how much oil is in the cargo tanks. The plan includes tasks meant to improve the availability and utilization or of adequate port reception facilities, such as reporting requirements, information on port reception facilities, identification of any technical issues encountered during the transfer of waste between ships and shore, standardization of garbage segregation requirements, and containments identifications. Regulation 39. The criteria of this annex applicable to ships of 400 gross tons and above, other than oil tankers, must be followed by fixed or floating platforms when engaged in exploration, exploitation, and related offshore of processing of seabed mineral resources. And that's all. Thank you.